Clash in Italy took place in Turin, Italy at Inalpi Arena. First, we had the Countdown to Clash in Italy show, which I watched on WWE's YouTube channel. On the panel was Joe Tessitore, Corey Graves, Peter Rosenberg, and Big E. You had Kathy Kelly and Byron Saxton reporting, with Kathy looking great as usual. Unfortunately, Jackie Redmond had to miss this show because she's covering the NHL playoffs. Sol Ruca was on the panel and she actually revealed that she just got cleared today before the match. Then they showed a recap, a video package of the classic El Grande Americano versus original El Grande Americano mask versus mask match last night for AAA. All-time classic match. It's the best WWE match of the year so far, and it counts because WWE owns AAA. It was an awesome match. You have to check it out. Gable unmasked afterwards, and I actually covered it on my YouTube channel with the shorts, so you can check it out on Chad Gable unmasking. It was a great moment, man. That was just a spectacle, but it was better than anything on this show, too, by the way. And then he had Liv Morgan join the panel, and I'm sure she had to be disappointed that she's not on the show, despite the fact that she's currently just, I don't know, the women's world champion, and she's not on Clash in Italy because, you know, she's actually has an Italian heritage. Her name is Giona Daddio, if that's how you pronounce it right. So she's Italian, and she said, you know, she's the Italian princess. All of them, the fans there, they were cheering for Liv. Of course, Liv looking great, by the way. Have to mention that. It's Liv. But I'm sure it would have meant a lot to her, and she appeared in the crowd later on. But it's too bad. You know, I don't get why they couldn't get her a spot on the show. It would have been, it's like WWE's first ever PLE in Italy. It's too bad that they couldn't get Liv on because it would have meant a lot to her, and she's the women's world champion. Kathy Kelly was standing by the stage during the Countdown show, and it looks like WWE built like a cathedral themed stage, which is very appropriate for the show because it's taking place in Italy, and it looked really good. It was a creative stage. It's smaller. It was like a narrow ramp. It wasn't like that the Clash in Paris stage when they built like an Eiffel Tower type. It wasn't that, but like it's much smaller. And it looked really good, though. I love the pillars. It looked really nice. It looked very, you know, much, very on par with like the location they're at. And they actually honored Bruno Sammartino, which was a very nice touch there. He's, of course, not just Italian. He was born in Italy before he moved to the United States. Became like the first major star for the then WWF. And then you had Kathy Kelly interviewing Triple H on the Countdown show. Then, finally, Clash in Italy officially began, the main show. We had several superstar arrivals. Then we got the opening video package, Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary. Gunther was out first, and the pillars lit up like the classic Imperium entrance. It just reminded me of that. It was so perfect because the old Imperium entrance, it had like pillars, kind of, and it fit perfect with Gunther's entrance. Actually, would have been a great WrestleMania entrance if they would have had him set up like that. It would have fit perfect with Gunther. But he had a very positive fan reception, and then Cody Rhodes came out to another positive fan reception. Gunther is from Austria, which borders northern Italy too, I believe. So it's like not far at all where he grew up, even though he's not. He's Austrian German. He's not, you know, Italian, but still, he grew up close to that country, so it was definitely a positive reception for him. But they liked Cody. No one really got booed, but I think it was slightly more pro Gunther than pro Cody. So Cody came out. He was actually wearing the same mask he wore at WrestleMania with the helmet, and he came out. It's going to be a war against Gunther. And we get the undisputed WWE Championship on the line. Cody Rhodes defending his title against Gunther in the opening match. So you had a big, large, scary movie advertisement in the ring. It's the logo. And they're calling it Scary Movie. I think it's part 6. And I guess that's what they do now. The new Scream was just called Scream when it came out. After a while, Halloween, they just called that Halloween. So I guess that's on par to call it Scary Movie. But you had Gunther get the heat early on in the match. The crowd, as I said, was more into Gunther, but they didn't boo Cody. Gunther kicked out of Crossroads. Crowd was really hot for this. I was thinking, oh man, this is going to be like the French crowd a couple years ago at that Backlash, or even the one last year at the Clash in Paris. Not as good, but it was a hot crowd. They were hot for the whole show, just not like at the level of those other crowds. So Gunther locked in the sleeper, but Cody got the rope. And Cody hit a second Crossroads, but Gunther had his foot on the rope. Unfortunately for Gunther, the referee didn't see it, and Cody pinned him, and Gunther's foot was under the rope, not actually on it. So count should have never happened. Gunther complained to the referee as after he was counted out. It was 1, 2, 3. Gunther complains to the referee as Cody celebrates the win. So clearly they're going to have a rematch at Night of Champions. They show LA Knight, Montez Ford, and in the crowd, and then we see the Judgment Day, just a woman, which is perfect. We see Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, our Women's World Champion, and Raquel Rodriguez all sitting in the crowd together, which is good that at least Liv made it to be on the main show. I really don't know why she couldn't have been on the show. I mean, Julia didn't get on the show, but Julia's not a champion right now. She's half Italian, but it's like, come on, you couldn't. It's too bad he couldn't get on the show, but it is what it is. Then we got fucking commercials, so that's why Cody and Gunther didn't go too long. It went like 11 minutes. That's what I saw on Wikipedia so far, if that's the correct time. That's a joke, but yeah, fuck ESPN, fuck TKO. I'm going to say that all night. I'm not watching on ESPN right away. I'm in Canada, I watch on Netflix, but because of ESPN and their deal, they want commercials during the show, so unfortunately, like, we get like long 4-minute advertisements, and it sucks. Then after that break, we got a Club WWE advertisement. Thanks, great. We didn't get John Cena on the show, by the way. We got a commercial with him, not actually him. Like, he was like when he made the appearance at Backlash. They show some of the sights of Turin, and then we got a Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill video package. Jade Cargill was out next. No one liked her. They hated her. And then Rhea Ripley came out to a big pop. This meant a lot to Rhea, as half of her family is Italian on the mom's side, I believe. And she talked about how she was really close. She's really close with her Nona, I meant to say. And it meant a lot because she passed away, and she didn't get to see this. So Rhea, she was emotional talking about this when she was on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, which dropped earlier this week. You can watch it. It's actually a good interview. So Alicia Taylor did the ring introductions for the WWE Women's Championship match, with Rhea Ripley defending her title against Jade Cargill in a rematch from WrestleMania. He had the fans singing the Seven Nation Army song early on to rally Rhea. He had a power display with the two women at first. Jade got the heat for a while. The fans hated her. Rhea looks great, by the way, in her red ring gear. I have to point that out as she made her comeback. I really liked her gear. And then Rhea and Jade, I thought it's a weird thing where Jade doesn't really have good matches and she's not really a good worker, but she has really good chemistry with Rhea Ripley. It's just a unique thing where they have the same size, or not the same. Jade's a lot bigger than Rhea, especially now. This skinny Rhea. I mean, Rhea maybe a few years ago, but like Rhea right now, she's so small. I mean, Jade's just so much bigger than her, but they just have really good chemistry together. And one spot I liked was Rhea actually hit a reverse electric chair on the outside, and it like dropped Jade face first into the apron. I thought that was a good spot. They had some good counters to their finishers. They kept using the Riptide and the Jaded. Eventually, B-Fab and Mishin run out. And the worst spot of the match is after Rhea hits a Riptide onto Jade, B-Fab, she botches really bad when she was supposed to put Jade's foot on the rope, or her leg on the rope, and she just couldn't lift up Jade's leg, and it looked really bad. And thinking B-Fab had just one job. All you had was one job tonight. And then what happened was Charlotte appeared, and she took out both B-Fab and Mishin. She got a big pop. And then Jade hit Jaded on Rhea, but then Charlotte put Rhea's foot on the rope to stop the 3 count. So Charlotte getting back for what Jade did to Alexa Bliss this past Friday on SmackDown, and that's what they said. So then Charlotte, by the way, she didn't botch it like B-Fab did. Eventually, Rhea hits a second riptide on Jade Cargill, pins her 1-2-3, and I thought this was actually a really solid matchup, and I liked it better than the WrestleMania match. And I liked the Mania match, but I thought this was better. This was a better match. A lot more time, I had to say. They had good time here, and they got a lot more time than Cody and Gunther, and I was not expecting that to be the case going into the show. And they had a good matchup. Rhea wins, and that's the end of the feud, and Jade now looks like she'll feud with Charlotte Flair. It looks like Rhea's going to go against Blake Monroe, as she called out Rhea in her promo and her vignette, whatever. And it looks like that's the next program, maybe later in the summer. I don't know, but we have that to look forward to. Oba, Femi, and Brock Lesnar was next. And let me just say this right now. I'm going to talk about it. That match was fucking awesome, but there's some stuff that happened on the show. So after the Rhea and Jade match, we got another fucking commercial break. Fuck TKO. They show some Italian celebrities in the crowd, don't care. Brock Lesnar was up first with Paul Heyman, and he got a big pop. They actually hymned his theme song. Oba Femi was up next. He was also very over, lots of Oba chants. And we get Oba and Brock, the rematch from WrestleMania. As I said, this match was fucking awesome. It was better than a WrestleMania match. It was great. Look, idiots online can say, oh, they're burying Oba Femi after he got lost, after he took 8 fucking F5s from Brock Lesnar. My God, come on. Give me a break. God, you guys are so dumb. These smart idiots. Like, come on. The burial after you get hit with 8 fucking F5s. So, the match starts off. And I just wanted to say, why can't we have more sprints like this? I know Brock can't wrestle every match, but why can't we get more of these sprints? They're so entertaining. And it's just disappointing that they don't do more of this. I wish they would. These matches work so well. They're fun. The crowd goes crazy for them. And what happened was Brock immediately jumped Oba, then hit 4 consecutive F5s to him, but then Oba kicked out. So much that happened. It's hard to recap everything. Brock had the Kimura for a while. Oba sold his arm, but Oba got out of it. Eventually, he hit another F5. Oba kicked out. They got on the outside. Oba fought back, but then Brock hit an F5 through the announce table, which was a good spot. They go back in the ring, and that's where Oba rallies. He hits a chokeslam, goes for the fall from man, but then Brock gets out of it. He jumps out of it. And it looked great because Brock is still so athletic, even at almost 50 years old. Then Brock hits like the 8th F5 in the match or something, and he pins Oba Femi. So Brock Lesnar with the win. Great matchup. Entertained throughout the entire match. It was fun. It was hard-hitting. It was a heavyweight match. It was like, what's that really famous boxing match? What's his name? Marvelous Marvin Hagler against Tommy Hitman Hearns, that kind of thing, where they just go at each other and it's like rock'em sock'em robots. I felt this. Like, this is what I wish we could get more of these matches, like Brock and Goldberg from that WrestleMania all those years ago, 33. I wish we got more of these kinds of matches, or Brock and Oba from WrestleMania, or this. They're so entertaining. I know not everyone can be like Brock, but man, this had my attention the whole match. I was so into it. I thought it was great. I loved the match. And then we had some people in the crowd. They showed the Vision, Braun Breaker, and Austin Theory. Thankfully, they didn't get injured. The Vision are a cursed faction. They showed Julia. She was there. She was excited. She's half Italian. Too bad she couldn't be on the show either. And then they showed Santino Marella in the crowd, who got a pop from the Italian crowd. We got a AAA video package that highlighted the classic Americanos match, the Americano match classic. I don't know what else you're going to call it. Between El Grande Americano and the original El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser versus Chad Gable. All-time great match. Chad Gable unmasked. Must see. So they show Becky Lynch and Sol Ruca heading to the ring. Then we get another commercial break. Once again, I have to say it. Every time we get a commercial break during a fucking PLE, my message is simple. Fuck TKO. We got some stupid Miz video promo with a bunch of guys doing the what's up, that thing in the 90s to promote the new Scary Movie. There's a new Scary Movie. It's Scary Movie 6, so they do the what's up to promote it. They didn't get the Dudleys. Why couldn't you get the Dudleys to it? They're still on good terms at WWE. You should have got them at least to do that if they're going to be part of this. Sol Ruca was out next. Her presentation, I have to say, was more gimmicky than NXT. I think it worked better because she came out like almost on the surfboard, and she'd pretend she'd be on the surfboard. I don't know about her gimmick here. I hate the new theme song, by the way. Becky Lynch was out next, and she actually made her debut 12 years ago on NXT. I remember watching that. She came out and on the Irish folk dance in all green, and I think this girl would be too much when I saw that. But then, yeah, she becomes like an all-time legend. Maybe like the most successful female star, at least one in the top 3 in the history of the company. Her, Charlotte, and Rhea. Those are the best, the top 3 female stars ever, I think. Anyway, we get the Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line. Becky Lynch defends her title against Sol Ruca. Jessica Carr was the referee. So you had Sol hit the Charlotte Flair moonsault to the outside. Since Charlotte doesn't do it anymore since she destroyed her knee a year and a half ago or so, Sol does it now. Hopefully she doesn't have any knee injuries. So Becky always has to get a PLE match. It's just weird. Like, I don't mind Becky, but like every PLE, feels like she has to get the match. And I'm just thinking to myself, you could have Liv on this in this spot. She's, as I said, would have made more sense because she's Italian. Could have had someone else, but okay. I don't know why. I felt this match didn't really need to be here, and it was a tough spot because you're going after Brock and Oba and before Roman's match, so it's a tough spot to be in. And I wasn't that into it, I'm not going to lie. Becky argued with the referee, who was Jessica Carr. And that's the story that's going to come out of this. So Becky got the heat. Sol made a comeback. Sol botched again. She kicked out of a manhandle slam, then she hit the Soul Snatcher kind of out of nowhere. I guess it's supposed to be like an RKO. She hits it out of nowhere when you don't expect it too much. Cool moment for Sol. She's a new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Look, I just wish she had more momentum when she wins her first belt on the main roster in WWE, because it hasn't worked out too well for her with all these botches. I don't think it was the best time to put it on her. I think they could have built it up a little bit better, and I hope it works out for her, but I have a feeling this is going to go back to Becky soon, and this didn't work out too well, but I thought the match was fine. So they showed Javon Evans in the crowd, and they showed Io Sky in the crowd, who got a big pop, as she should. Io didn't bother helping Rhea, by the way. She helped her at WrestleMania, but I guess she let Charlotte take care of it for the show. But she was in the crowd when B-Fab and Mishin were interfering to screw over Rhea, but it's okay. Then you had Ethan Page in the crowd and Lara Valkyria in the crowd. Lara wasn't there because Bayley was at AAA yesterday, so she was there by herself without her partner. We see Jacob Fatu warming up before yet another commercial break. Fuck TKO. The panel previewed the main event. Then we get the video package. Jacob Fatu came up first. Not much of a pop. Then Roman Reigns came out to a big pop. Too bad he wasn't in Rome. If this show was in Rome, Italy, it would have made more sense because it's the Roman Empire. That's where he kind of gets his name from. The Roman Empire. Anyway, it could have been a cool gimmick, but they sang to Roman Reigns to start off. We got the World Heavyweight Championship on the line, tribal combat match. They actually showed the Ula Fala like ahead of the world title, but anyway, Roman defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Jacob Fatu. Tribal combat match, and you definitely had a pro-Roman crowd, to say the least. Fatu didn't get much chance. They really liked Roman Reigns, and they brawled into the crowd. Also worth noting, I noticed that, like watching a show, the steps are just very wide. It's like the steps that go up the arena. It's so wide. It's like in a regular stadium that you see on TV most weeks, it's very narrow. It's like super fucking wide. And they actually brawled up the steps for a bit, which was pretty cool. But they didn't last too long in the crowd. I thought they would do more in the crowd. They really didn't. And then tables brought out. I think that hurt the match. I have to say that right away. The table spot didn't work because when you have a table in the ring, here's the issue. Everyone knows that whenever you do near falls with a fucking unbroken table, well, that means that it's not going to be the finish because they haven't used the table yet. And I think that hurt the match. So Roman actually threw the steps at Fatu on the outside. That's the classic John Cena spot. Roman hit a couple of Superman punches on the outside during this match. Roman brought out a toolbox and used it to crush Jacob's hand to stop him from using the Tongan death grip, which made sense. Roman speared Jacob through the barricade, and like a security guard got crushed. It looked like he hurt his leg or his arm, and he was in a lot of pain. I don't think he was that good of a seller. And you had After that spear, Fatu got thrown in the ring. Roman hit another spear in the ring, but Fatu kicked out. And this the unused table, as I said before, I gave it away. It's like, don't bring out that table wasn't even needed in this match. If that table's not there, that's a closer near fall because, well, I know they haven't used that table yet, so Fatu's kicking out. And Roman then kicked out of the mighty moonsault. I didn't buy it at all. Eventually, Roman drove Jacob Fatu, and he exposed 3 of the 4 turnbuckles, and the other corner of the table was there. So Roman drives Jacob's head into the 3 exposed turnbuckles, and he spears him through the corner table. And then Jacob gets out, but then Roman hits another spear onto Jacob and pins him to retain the title. He is still the World Heavyweight Champion. He retains the Ula Fala, and he's still the Tribal Chief. And the announcers were hyping it up. Tomorrow on Raw, Jacob Fatu must acknowledge Roman Reigns. The Usos hand Roman the Ula Fala after the match. And then we see Solo Sikoa and the MFTs, who's ever left, in the crowd. It looks like they're getting a full Bloodline reunion. The Bloodline's going to be bigger than it ever was. So I guess that's what we're headed on Raw. To be honest, this show wasn't the biggest fan. Definitely, easily my favorite match was Brock and Oba. I thought that was better than the WrestleMania match. I thought that match was freaking awesome. I loved it. And I liked Rhea and Jade. That was a surprise. So both the WrestleMania rematches I thought were better than the matches they had at WrestleMania. But the other matches, Jacob Roman, I didn't like. I liked the Backlash match better. I was not that into this. I was kind of bored with this. And I think the crowd wasn't as excited as the Backlash crowd because no one in the right mind thought Jacob could win. And they didn't do a good job building it up. And then I thought the Cody match at Gunther was very disappointing. That was easily the weakest match. I get it. They're setting up a rematch at the next PLE. But that was just a disappointing match. And Becky and Ruca, yes, easily the most forgettable. I know it's Ruca's first title reign. It could have been more special. So the show tonight, I thought 3 of the 5 matches were disappointing. Becky Soul, Cody Gunther, and Roman Jacob, I thought were disappointing. But I liked Rhea and Jade a lot, and I loved Brock and Oba. So, it's kind of another standard WWE PLE. Not awful, just kind of mediocre, to say the least. It's better than the Rumble this year, which I didn't like. There was nothing awful on the show, I'll say. It's better than the Chamber, definitely. I thought that was the worst PLE of the year. Definitely better than WrestleMania 42 Night 1, but I would say it's worse than WrestleMania 42 Night 2 and definitely worse than Backlash, which, to be honest, Backlash is still my favorite PLE this year from WWE. Yeah, Clash in Italy. And I'll also say this, out of all the Clash shows, it's probably the worst one because you had that Clash at the Castle in 2022 with Drew and Roman and Gunther and Sheamus on the undercard. That was a great show. It was an awesome show. Then the one a couple years after that, which was Priest and McIntyre and Cody, I think, wrestled AJ on that show. That was better than this too. And I thought last year's Clash in Paris show was definitely better than this too. And I think it's probably the worst Clash WWE show they've done. But the crowd in Italy was hot. It's their first PLE ever, so I'm glad they got that. But I thought the show left a lot to be desired. And I think definitely, without question, the biggest issue I had was, yet again, with TKO and this ESPN deal, even though it doesn't affect me because I don't watch on ESPN, I watch on Netflix, I still get these fucking commercials. And, I'm just so sick of it. We got commercials during another PLE and it ruined my enjoyment. It's just fuck TKO with that. Fuck ESPN. Fuck you. I'm so sick of it. But I just wish, I wish I could watch a PLE without commercials. That would be nice. But, it is what it is. And that was Clash in Italy. So we'll see what happens next. But that's it for this Clash show. As I said, I think it's the worst Clash show WWE has done in Europe. And we'll see what's next. They do. I guess we'll look forward to what they do next, especially with this King and Queen of the Ring, as WWE continues their European tour.